What's up, YouTube? It is Kylie Martin here. We are back again on the Supercross BMX YouTube channel. And I was thinking last night, I was like, you know what? We did a whole video on tire pressure, but we never talked about how to change a flat tire. And guys, this is real convenient because this tire is flat. So in today's video, we're going to be going over everything that you're going to need to change out your tire and how you can be a little bit extra to keep it from going flat like this. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so general disclaimer here before we get into the video. If you have a flat tire, there is a good chance that something punctured said tire. So be careful whenever you are working around it, when you're checking it out, even when you're taking apart the tire to get to the tube and all that stuff. You're gonna wanna be careful because you can easily cut your hand, you can cut yourself, you can hurt someone else who's helping you. There's so many things that can go wrong with this. If it's a nail and say it's rusted, tetanus. Guys, come on. Be careful, be safe, all of that good stuff. So anyways, now that we got the general safety disclaimer out there for you little guys and older guys, what you're gonna wanna do is figure out what type of tool that your tire is gonna need to get off. So what's cool with the Supercross wheels that I have noticed on this one specifically is that you can use a wrench or you can use an Allen. So for those of you guys who don't know, this would be like a wrench where you kind of just slide it onto the bolt, you can pry it off, or you can use an Allen. For you racers out there who have Supercross frames, at least for the Vision F1, for me, the only way I can get it off is with an Allen. So I try and always keep a multi-tool with me because a lot of the times, guys, you can use an Allen to pretty much put together a bike just by that one tool. So it's something I would definitely invest in. It was something that I would look into if I were you. Shout out to my dad for making sure that he already got it for me. But like I said, guys, you're going to want to figure out what tool that you need first and then get to the process of taking off your tire, which obviously, guys, counterclockwise, get the tire off. Pretty self-explanatory, so we're gonna do that real quick. All right, guys, so we now have our beautiful tire off. Something that you guys may have noticed at the start, it's not completely flat yet, okay? So also, because I made this mistake just now, when you were taking off your tire, make sure that you grab the tire and hold on to it. Otherwise, it'll fall down and you gotta use some quick reaction skills. I felt like Spider-Man just now. But anyways, what you're gonna wanna do here after you have your tire, if there's still air in it, because it's a slow leak, like how this situation is for me, what you're gonna wanna do is drain out the rest of the air. So you're gonna find your valve stem, which is gonna be right here. Something that we do, which is a little factory data insight that my dad gave me, is you line up the valve stem with the logo of your tire, whether it's a Maxxis, Tioga, Pro Max, whatever it is. There's so many different tires out there, guys. But you wanna go ahead, line up that logo so that it's super easy to kind of just find that valve stem cover. So then once you do that, you're gonna drain out all your air, and yeah, it's a real tedious process, so we're just gonna cut to it being drained. All right, guys, now we're looking like more of a flat tire. So we're gonna go ahead and go to kind of a flat surface where we can sit down so that we can really start taking apart the tire and swapping out our tube. Before we get to the tube itself, which is flat on the inside, we gotta take off the rubber, which right now is a really prime time to kind of check out, see what is going on the outside of the tire so that you know, okay, maybe it was a big shard that kind of cut through it, maybe it was just a small little picker. Whatever the case may be, you kind of want to be able to see it from the outside first, because if it's spliced all the way through the inside, then that's going to be a later problem that you have to deal with, which obviously we will cross that bridge when it gets there if that is a situation for you. But like I said, most of the times you can kind of see, okay, this is right where it happened, this is where it's leaking, and then to kind of confirm what you're thinking, you can get your tire pump it up a little bit, and then see if the air is actually leaking from that point. So anyways, aside from the yapping here, we're gonna go ahead and get tools called a tire iron. So generally they're gonna come in packs of 3, and what you're gonna wanna do here is, you'll notice, they have little slits in them usually. So these are meant to latch onto your spoke. And you're probably wondering, well, how do you get to the point that it latches onto your spoke, which, there we go. How you're gonna do this is you're gonna take the other side, which has its little swoop in it, and you're gonna slide it. Usually if you do this right, you're able to kind of pick up a little part of the tire, as you can see it lifting there. You're gonna slide your tire iron underneath the part that is lifted and then hook it down below. So it's gonna look just like this. Now what you're gonna wanna do is take your other tire iron. Usually you can do this with just 2. Sometimes you need 3 though if it gets a little bit tricky. But then you're gonna go ahead, a couple spokes down, do the same thing, pull it down, line it up, which we can get a little slick with it sometimes when it comes to taking them off. And you can just slide it all the way down and around, and it'll usually pop off. Getting it started a couple times, depending on how tight that the tire is around though, might be a little tricky, but the main thing is that as long as you have this guy here, it's gonna kind of help you to start that momentum in a way, if you will. So now that we've done that, we've got the tire completely free here, which means that we can get to the tube. So we're gonna go ahead, find where our valve stem is at, again, which is down below, push that guy through, have it pop out through the bottom, which this is hard to show you guys because usually I just use my legs to balance on it. but there we go. So it's popped through, then we're gonna grab it. Again, be careful if you didn't find what was puncturing your tire, because there's a good chance that it's gonna be attached to the tube. So you wanna be careful with that as you're taking that out. And then guess what? We don't need this anymore, so that can just go. Give it to your dogs, have a little kid play with it, as long as there's nothing sharp in it. And yeah, it's a toy for days for them. But now we're gonna go ahead and look at the inside of our tube here, or our tire here. Make sure that there's nothing puncturing through, anything that we're noticing that is a little bit gnarly, because guys, funny story, when I was a little intermediate, I thought I could do everything by myself, and I didn't check the inside of the tire. I punctured 2 tubes back to back, just boom, boom. And Dad, if you're watching this, sorry, because I totally lied to him. Was like, no, I just ran through pickers again. I don't know what happened. Darn. So, like I said, guys, make sure that you check the inside. It's gonna save you money, and overall, it's just gonna save you time, because this is a hassle, especially if it's the back wheel. Okay guys, now we are at the point where we can insert our new tube. So when it comes to tubes, there are going to be 2 different types. So some of them may be like a Schrader valve, which is what I prefer just because it's just easier to kind of pump up and all that stuff. The other one will be a Presta valve. Road bikers generally will use the Presta valve, is what I've noticed from when I did road biking and things like that. So that's going to involve like a kind of smaller screw being on top of where like the valve stem is at. So here, let's take off the cap here. The valve stem is going to be that guy right in like the little middle. So some people get even more like technical with it, and they get a special tool that goes around this, unscrews that from the center so that you can put slime directly into the tube, so that if in the event you were riding and something were to puncture it, it'll automatically seal itself long enough for you to continue your ride, as long as you didn't completely tear through it, if that makes sense. But what we're gonna do now that we have this guy all unraveled, we're gonna go ahead, grab a tire pump, and put a couple pumps of air in this so that it'll really kind of fit the shape of a circle so that it can line the rim effortlessly. All right guys, so we now have it set up to where it has taken its shape. It's still obviously super loose, super soft still, but we can go ahead now and take our tire again, find where the valve insertion is at, grab our guy here, slide this on the inside of the tire, and what you're gonna wanna do is kind of just line it beforehand, because then you're gonna end up popping it over. And sometimes, I mean, I'm guilty of this all the time too, still, as I change out my tires. If you pump it up too much and see that you're having like some difficulty kind of putting the tire in, or the tube into the tire, then just let out some air. That's what I'm doing right now. Let out a little bit of air, because I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, it is so much easier to just let air out than to keep pumping air in and out, in and out, in and out. So go ahead, line that up here, and then insert it right into there. Line the rest of the tire with it, and then slide the first part back over. Okay, so as you will see here, since the rubber is still so like loose, you can usually kind of just slide it over with your hands for the most part, but this is when your tire irons may need to come back into handy. If it reaches a point like this where it is super stubborn, does not want to go on, and you can't just slide it over, you're gonna grab your tire iron, just like so here, grab onto the rubber, make sure that you are missing the tube when you do this. So you're gonna hook this tire iron onto the rim and just push it back, and then kind of just slide it over and work its way over. But guys, be careful, because you'll end up just going in a circle nonstop if you don't place a stopper there when you're pushing this over. So you're gonna latch it onto the rim here, grab this guy so that it goes, if I can grab it without pinching the tube here, grab that guy so it goes over, still holding on to back there, holding your original one in place, and then popping it right back over, like so. I don't think you guys understand how hard it is to explain what I'm doing as I'm trying to focus on doing it, because tires are not my strong suit, which I think by teaching you guys, it'll make it my strong suit. So we're all winning here, guys. But now we have this all set up, so we're able to kind of reinstall it back onto the bike now, which means we're going back to our original scenery. So let's go. All right, guys, we are so back. So we're gonna go ahead and grab our tire here. You can just kind of hand tighten it at first. We're gonna slide it right over here, straight on to where the dropouts are, if we can line it up properly. And then you're just gonna go ahead and position them in, tighten them up a little bit, and then we're gonna go in and actually tighten them with the tool. For now though, this is just so that it holds in place so that we don't lose the tire and that it has its own placing. Then we're gonna go ahead, tighten, repump in air, and we're done. Just like that, your tire is changed. You are on the way to your next ride out, race, practice session, dirt jumps, whatever the case may be. You are ready to shred. You guys know how to change it now in the situation that you get a flat, maybe when your homies get a flat, whatever the case may be, you are now a tire expert. So congratulations, guys. Thank you guys all so much for sticking around for the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will catch you on the next one.
I know what I like, baby, I like you. Miss American Pie with the high IQ. Oh